What's going on, everybody? When you're this good, it's hard not to grow a fan base. Who said that?
Uh,
Donald Trump. Donald Trump said that.
It was you're really close, but it's Smoke's quote off Notoriety.
I knew that. I knew that. Like, obviously.
obviously.
All right, guys.
I mean, yeah.
What's that?
It's basically Trump. I don't know.
Basically. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 runner economy cards. So each of us have built a list. Two guys did top 10s. One guy did a top 31.
But we're only talking about 10.
But we're only going to talk about 10 of them. So, who wants to start off? Hollis, you want to tell the people, how did you build your list of runner economy cards?
Yeah. I really just took sort of a look at decks I've been playing more often. Things that when I go to Netrunner DB and discuss like deck building with my friends, things like that. The common economy cards that I'm seeing most often, and in general, on top of that, how effective they seem to be in allowing that runner to, I guess, ultimately win the game. There's a few cards you'll notice on my list that are kind of they're very definitely expected, but I think we all have some very expected cards, so it should be some interesting. I may even surprise you a bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Intriguing.
Maybe not. Maybe
a Hollis list is always good for at least, on average, 2.3 surprises.
I like how you have it 2.3. Nice. Nice.
It sounds more mathematical when you have like point in there. Corey, how did you build your list?
So I did it, pretty similar. So a lot of the economy card stuff that I chose, I based around stuff that I've been seeing, like coming up on decks, but also a lot of it in decks I like to play. So economy cards, it's useful for my play style, and stuff that I think taking a snapshot of the meta and maybe moving forward where I could see them staying relevant or being things to consider. And also some just fun. Just fun econ cards. There's nothing wrong with a little fun in this game, right?
Nothing.
What is that? You can have fun? What?
What
is that?
Yeah.
So for my top 10 list is what I did is I looked at all the economy cards, and then I just didn't pick out which one I think gives you the best economical return on investment. I weighed a whole bunch of different things, like how easily it could fit into other decks, how popular it is in that faction. So mine's not just cut and dry, this is the best return on investment kind of card. I kind of weighed a whole bunch of different options and things, and there's some new cards that might be a little low, and there's some new cards that could be really high. So that there might be a bending of the scales, so to speak, on some of those ones. After we complete our top 10 list, we're going to talk more about some cards that didn't make the cut that are personal favorites of ours that maybe fit into different styles of deck. Like I didn't really stereotype. Like I know there's going to be some cards that work better in other decks, some cards that wouldn't work in that form of deck archetype. So I kept mine very granular. So I don't know, guys. Let's you ready to dive into it? We're going to count down to 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Hollis.
You wanna do the honors? You wanna kick us off?
Oh man, I'm so scared. Like, the internet's gonna kill me. All right, here we go, guys. My number 10. Let me go to my list. My number 10 card. My number 10 runner economy card is Netmerker. It's actually number
So-
10.
Okay, and why is it number 10?
Because I felt like the targets for Netmerker, though they can be used for anything, the credits can be used for anything. It's definitely geared towards a very specific deck archetype, a very specific breaker suite, and if you're not catered to that, it's like not nearly as useful as a lot of the other I guess I would say blanket economic cards. Like the credit goes a lot further with Netmerker when it comes to things that are stealth, but beyond that, they don't go very far. Besides that, they don't go very far at all. When I look at the economy for the whole game, I look at economy for as far as can I afford to trash things, can I pump breakers, blah 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 blah. I can't use stealth credits all the time to do all those things. So it's just a very specific economy card, but the fact that it is it replenishes itself rather, is what allowed it to make the list.
Very interesting.
Sweet.
Yep.
Cool.
Corey,
It's on the list.
It's on.
All
Put it
right.
on the board. Put it on the board.
So my number 10 card, and is Armitage Code Busting. And the reason why it is my old faithful, and maybe because I play a lot of draft, and that it's like your basic econ card, but I feel like I do a lot of decks where I'll put a one of in there, and that card shows up when you're low on money, and you're just like, thank you with that 1 credit entry fee. And you just come in and just kind of give you that boost right back up. It's just like, it's not like amazing. I'm not telling you, you should play with 3 of, but I've never been sad to see it. And so I have a long relationship with the code busting.
The code busting.
I'm surprised to see it as high as a top 10 pick. But
Hey,
it
man.
is one of those ones that have been around since Core Set, though, right? Like it's
That's right. I played with a lot of Armitage.
Yeah, so have I. It slots into Atom builds just because it's very versatile with its neutrality.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
And
So yeah, that was my number 10.
Number 10. All right, for me, this one here, folks, is a little bit controversial, I would say, for economy. This could set
We're starting it off.
this could set the tone for maybe the rest of my list, and you see how my mind was working when I built this.
All right.
Number
I'm
10.
interested. I want to know.
The people are calling. Settle down. A hush falls over the crowd. My number 10 is Scavenge.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting pick. But the thing is I think that the return that you can get with this card is pretty incredible. Like you think about all those programs in now Scavenge was put into highly competitive decks, and it has trickled off a little bit because there's not so much use on token breakers anymore, like Lady, Recharge and Overmind, Scavenge and Imp. So Scavenge's cost can fluctuate, but I think the return from playing 0, its 2 influence, I love the tempo swing that it can create when you have a card that needs to be scavenged. And even if you want to scavenge down, right? Like you don't have to scavenge for that card that you have broken apart. You can scavenge, early kit decks used to break down the Gordian Blade and then get the torch out, right? So it would help you with an econ swing there if you didn't have it. So I just think Scavenge is very versatile in what it can do for you at an economy level, saving you money, not gaining,
Sure.
saving.
You're a fan of the reducer.
Yeah,
You like those savings. It's like the
Sonic
coupon economy
Reducer.
And like a sort of sweet deal is that like you said, in addition to getting the install out of archives at a discount, it's a matter of any of the cards that you mentioned that use those tokens. those tokens also have a value associated, right? They break 2 subroutines, or they allow you to break a piece of ice as with a universal breaker, if you will.
Yeah.
And that value, there's also a hidden value there that sort of translates to credit saved. Because, I mean, if you look in the case of Overmind, you're not paying to install another icebreaker. In the case of Lady and Rex and Cujo, Cujo's never played.
Resetting that film.
Yeah, or resetting that film. That ability can be worth its weight just alone, right? There's a reason why film costs 9 for that bypass ability. So the ability to retarget that, effectively gaining 9 credits back, could be a huge benefit.
Yeah, and I appreciate the backup points.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Got you.
And
right.
and you know, like Vincent said in the chat, sometimes you got to throw back to the old school test run scavenge, a timeless classic combo there.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 10
So,
across the board. So far, so good. Hollis, number 9.
Number 9. I don't like this. I don't like that it's so low, but that gives you an idea of how good the other cards are. Number 9 is Dirty Laundry.
Ooh, that is low.
Yeah. The other cards, that tells you the other cards are got to be good, right? So I mean, Dirty Laundry. You'll see it's a neutral card. It, of course, says it's 2 credits. Make a run on a server. Once the run is completed, gain 5 credits. So basically you're gaining 3 credits, gaining a total of 3 credits. What I like about the card is the fact that it is like a nested action. And you'll note that a lot of the best cards in Netrunner tend to be nested actions like that. You get to make a run or draw a card and do something else. Those are some of the best cards in Netrunner. So I mean, Dirty Laundry giving you that kind of value where you can make a run, check a server. More specifically, knowing you can get in and get the card access and then basically trying to gain money back that you lost is phenomenal. And that's why it's on my list. Got him.
Sweet.
Got him.
Sweet. Nice work. Am I up? Is it me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So my number 9 is Bank Job, which is really funny because when you were doing the test for this, you just threw that as your example. So I was just like, has he seen my list? Do you know what's on there? But no. So I'm a big fan of Bank Job, and maybe while like its popularity fluctuates up and down, and asset heavy meta, it's a real quick way to have a huge credit swing, and also to punish corps for disinstalling a bunch of unprotected assets. I mean, 1 credit, run, make buku money. It's awesome. So I'm a fan of it. It's a card I enjoy playing with a lot. So it gets my thumbs up.
You know, Bank Job is a very interesting card, and at the risk of spoiling, possibly someone else's list, because just to make it known, we do not know what is on each other's lists here. We made these totally independent. No. This is totally on the fly. This is the first time we're hearing about it. So I think Bank Job is a very interesting card because it says whenever you make a successful run, you may take any number of credits from Bank Job. So I think that, remember like this in conjunction with Aesop, right? Leave the 1 credit and then Aesop it off. Bank Job was a card that people used to really make your credits on this thing.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
If you have your server to
I do
run
remember
on.
This.
Yeah.
This
For
was a thing.
1 credit, man. 1 credit to influence it. And I'm really surprised that we didn't see Bank Job more over this cycle with all that heavy asset stuff, but Criminal was kind of left behind, and sometimes 2 influence was hard to fit into these other decks, but Bank Job's a classic. Hats off to that pick.
Yeah. I like Bank Job. It's a nice card. It's a nice
so far I've got 2 classics. Just can't bring up the old school economy. All right.
I
guess you're up.
This one here, this one was the one that I'm worried about, that maybe this is like what Hollis was saying for me. My number 9 is, I feel it's really good, but some of the stuff I have ahead of it just kind of outweighs it. But there remains to be seen the real value that we can get out of Beth Kilrain Chang.
There you go.
Okay.
Gotta say the full name.
Yeah, I paused. I'm like, wait for it. Kilrain.
Yeah.
This card here is it ranks a little bit lower because of its versatility out of faction. It's 3 influence, so it's going to be a real heavy pull. You're not going to see it very much across the other 2, or sorry, the other 5 runners factions. Being at 3 influence, but in Shaper, I really believe that this is like a 2 of auto include kind of going forward. But it, again, another little bit of a hit there is that it's money and effects that you're gaining that are kind of out of your control. It's going to gain you money if the corp has at least 5. 5 to 9, and then at 10 to 14, you're going to get something else. Then at 15 credits, you're going to gain a click. But all that is kind of somewhat like economy driven. I know that we really didn't put in draw cards and cards that gain you clicks and things like that. We kind of really just looked at like economy style cards, but I think that this fit in there because its ability to gain you a credit and to infinity and beyond with Beth Kilrain.
Yeah.
It's passive. I love that. The fact.
Yeah.
I love passive. Like, yeah, it's the best.
You just drop it. It's like set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And some people actually forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So
I just remember the first time that I played with this. It was one of those things that I kept having to check, right? And it's like such an annoyance. How many credits do you have now? 12? What do I get for that? Okay, yeah, I'm getting a card. Oh, how much do you have now? 4? Oh, I don't get nothing. Okay.
You know maybe if you'd stop using that D20 for your credit tracker, I could find out a little bit easier. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so Beth sits at my number 9 slot.
Sweet.
Into 8.
Yep.
Hollis.
Take us away.
Here we go. Number 8 was Short Gamble.
Heyo.
Yep. It was Short Gamble. So again, why so low when it's an absolute include in every deck? I think it's the easiest economy card to use. It's neutral, so it is neutral. So it takes no influence. You can play it right at turn 1 with no drawback whatsoever. And for the most part, because you generally hover at 5 credits, when you see a Sure Gamble, you're happy to see it. But I don't think it's the most impactful and best economy card possible to play. So as a result, when I reviewed options, this card kept getting pushed. Like basically, this card started high and got pushed lower and lower and lower every single time.
It was almost. Was it like as you're laying them out? Did you start with Sure Gamble?
Yeah, Sure Gamble was in my top 3 actually, I think, and then it kept moving. It kept moving.
Yeah, so you started with it and then took the next card, and then you're like, is this better or worse than Sure Gamble? And then okay, it goes here. Is this card better or worse than Sure Gamble? Okay, it goes on this side, and then you built it.
Right.
Built it up.
Yes.
Yeah, good benchmark.
Yeah.
Anything else there?
No, that's it.
Solid.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Lady Luck.
Sweet. So for my number 8, I just want to state that, hey Hollis, I agree with everything you just said about Sure Gamble, and that's the same reason why it was my number 8 pick.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
I did
virtual.
the exact same thing. It started high up in the list, and it just kept working its way down. And it's the same thing. You love to see it. Opening hand, couldn't be happier. You're
Virtual
just like,
high five,
awesome.
you guys. Virtual high
That's it.
five that.
So, yeah. Cool. But yeah, so Sure Gamble's got 2 votes for number 8.
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't as lucky to join the Sure
Uh-oh.
Gamble Club at 8.
Is that a hint? Is that a hint? Was that a hint though?
No, I'm just saying that I wasn't lucky
Yeah.
to slot it in there. Like,
Uh,
I mean, it would have been awesome to pull off trifectas of picks, you know.
Yeah.
This one here goes along with my thoughts, like Scavenge was. My number 8 is Career Fair. Career Fair is a 1 influence, 0 to play event card in Criminal. Install a resource from your grip, lowering the install cost by 3. Career Fair was just, to me, like, you look at the versatility of saving 3 on a resource. Like, resources were so heavy, you know, this last year, and Career Fair really made a couple of these wizard decks sing. It was just such a punch, and it slots in so nicely anywhere. I just think the potential that Career Fair has for tempo swing and boost is just beautiful. And then the value that you're getting off most of these resources, you know, Career Fairing your daily cast in, Career Fairing your Earthrise. It's just such an economy boost to save that 3 and then to use that on actually using programs to get in. Career Fair was my number 8. I think it's such a powerful card, and it's served us well.
Awesome. You love your runner coupons. They just show up. Hey man, I can get this 3 credits off. Here you go.
Jameson, you should make a deck that's called Retell Me Not. And it just needs to be all, or Honey or whatever, like that. Isn't that a browser app? Like it just needs to be all cards that give you discounts. Just modded Career Fair
Scavenge. Yeah.
All in case.
And then what is that? Windfall. Look at that shout out.
Windfall. Yeah. You don't, Jameson.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh no. Your deck needs to not pay full price for anything.
No, man.
Yeah, that's it. And Eureka.
Yeah,
Eureka for flavor.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, I did. I was old school Eureka player.
Yeah.
So that's Career Fair. I don't think anyone can go toe to toe and argue that it deserves a place in my top 10.
It's fantastic.
Let's move.
Can I chime in about your that pick for you though?
Yeah.
A positive chime in. I promise.
Continue.
I like
please.
that it makes the I like that it makes the cards that already are giving you good economy like further value. That's the thing I think. Because like all the resources that I think are most of us are going to choose. I think a lot of resources on this list. So it's pretty obvious like Career Fair is like that good. Like you get a further discount on a card that's meant to give you money. It's crazy. It is literally a coupon. No, it's actually a coupon, Jameson. It's actually a coupon.
I really never thought about it like that. I never thought about it as a clip and save kind of situation.
Yeah.
You find Career Fairs in the newspaper and you sleeve them up. And you get a 2 for $5 at Arby's. That's what happens.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Number 8s, put them in the books, fellas.
There you go.
On to
number
7. Hollis, what do you got at 7? I am curious.
Hey, I have a card that works really, really well with Career Fair. Do you know what it is, Jameson?
Daily cast?
Wrong. Liberated accounts.
Oh!
Liberated accounts works really well with Career Fair. No, Liberated accounts out of Anarch, 6 cost. You know the deal. Put 16 credits on it, in stacks of, and then whenever you have a success, pay 1 click and take 4 off of it. So The cards, I love the card because it's a very big burst. Like, for a long, long time, Anarch didn't have this really great economy options. Like, they were like struggling. And then here comes Liberated Accounts to save the day.
It's easy to spend money when it's not your money.
Hey,
Lib
there you
accounts.
go.
Lib
Yeah.
accounts.
And it should say that, and then it should have like a link to download a career fair that you can use. But like that's what I like about it.
That's the Groupon.
Yeah, the Groupon. I like the card because it's a fairly large burst. When you combine it with cards like they're in faction and out of factions. For example, Street Peddler gives it a small 1 credit discount, but that's still added value. When you have Career Fair, additional added value. It's nuts. So the ability to be at a relatively, I guess, mid-level of credits and then burst really, really heavily. I mean, we've all had turns where there's not really much you can do. Like you're right there at the midpoint. You've got a lot of potential in hand. The corp is not really forcing you to make a reaction. It's fantastic when you can play Liberated Accounts and have a huge burst and just prepare for the upcoming turns and additional draws, stuff like that. I love it. Love it.
Good choice.
Good choice.
Yeah. So my number 7 is the card that also would pair well with Career Fair,
Uh-oh.
but it isn't Liberated. It is Daily Cast. That's what I picked. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, no. It's a card that I've grown to really love. Clickless economy, just that drip, a constant drip is great. Start your turns off with, and it's just lately always been finding spots in decks. Until scarcity resources starts wrecking all of her boards, I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna keep playing with Daily Cast over and over again. So I love it. Sweet. That's it.
It's a good
I don't
card.
have I don't have a lot to say.
It's
Just,
great.
Here's money. You play it, and then just don't forget just to keep taking money off it until you have to throw it in the trash. That's it.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 7 is Liberated Accounts. That's why I didn't want to use it as an example for Career Fair.
Bam!
Nice.
Bam! Nice. Woo! There we go. Match it up.
Hollis, you said it best. A click there for 4 credits off of it. It's a resource that gets charged for 16 right away. I mean, it does have a little bit of a tempo hit for you at 6, but when you can slide this out, you know 6 and then hit it twice, you instantly swing back up, and retain your tempo. I really like Liberated Accounts, especially in the Anarch faction. It's great. We're right where it needs to be. I got nothing else to say.
I love it. I love that card. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
All right,
One of
slide
my
in.
faves.
Slide into 6.
All right, sliding right in. I'm just gonna. Slide in. I chose security testing.
Ooh.
Herm.
He likes
Herm,
to test
herm.
securely.
I like. I chose security testing. I think that this one also moved around a little bit, and I think that is because I had to think about the current meta. I think that there's still enough CTM right now that's popular to, well, I mean, in general, CTM and maybe even some IG still, that allow cards like security testing to be really, really powerful. When you have a ton of open remotes, granted, you are spending a click to gain the money, but I would sort of relate it to like a magnum opus at worst, right? If there's a lot of open servers, security testing works as a magnum opus because you say I run gain 2, run gain 2, run gain 2, however many times during the turn that I need, depending on the clicks I have. There's also other cards that work really well with security testing. So, that being considered, it seems like a fantastic economic card to go with. I want to say this card started really low at first because I didn't know where it should sit based on the meta, and then I just slowly bumped it up little by little until I was comfortable. And 6 was just the sweet spot for me.
Sweet.
That's sweet.
Sweet. All right. So, me? Is that
Yeah,
me?
man.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Everyone off. So my number 6, liberated accounts. I rated
Oh,
it just
really?
slightly above you two, but it's right in that same area. Yeah, and I don't really have anything extra to add to it other than, I mean, it's just a great swing up, and it's one of those that you career fair that bad boy off. It's fantastic. But solid economy card, big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of covered it since it's now appeared on all 3 of our lists.
Yeah.
Is that the first three-peat
Yeah,
we've had so far?
I believe so.
Nice.
All right. Up next for me, closing off the 6s, I'm going to have to go back to a classic, Desperado. This was the very first criminal console that we know and love, ridiculously underpriced for its value, at 3 credits for an install. 3 influence is kind of hefty. We really didn't see it played outside as much, but this is what did damage for you as a criminal player. Old school Desperado. What more can you say? Getting 1 mem.
The cards.
Yeah, whenever you make a successful run, gain a credit.
Yep. Yes.
Getting paid
Yes.
to do what you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more times I can say yes,
Yeah.
but yes.
Yeah, there's really
That card is phenomenal.
Desperado, putting criminal consoles out of work.
5
since
down,
Corset.
5 down, 5 to go. Yeah, pretty much, right? Hollis, you're number 5, cracking the top 5.
Oh boy, it's getting close over here. All right, covering a card we've already talked about. It looks like, and it is Daily Cass.
Ooh.
I put it a little higher. I put it a little higher on my list than Corey did, and I think the only reason I did that is because I felt like the card could be more universally used. I think that there was a time where it's been, it actually was still used in like prepaid K decks. It's used in Criminal, and it's used in Anarch. And of course, the benefit is just it's a low barrier. Like Corey said, it's so cheap to install, and then you just off click passively, you're just gaining some money. Just relax a little bit, calm down. Just got to remember to move those credits over.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, to me, that makes the card fantastic.
Yeah, great return on investment.
Awesome.
Corey, what do you got for number 5?
So my number 5 is Magnum Opus.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. I rated it kind of high up, but it's one of those, like, if you use it as like your economy engine, there's something to about having that button you can always hit. And I think a big thing that swung me to consider it still really strong even now was especially watching SMC. And with a lot of the tag decks and being able to clear tags, like gain 2 credits, clear a tag, gain 2 credits, clear a tag. It also, like, Travis used it to really good effect to stay in the running against some of the economy engines, some of the corp decks regenerating. And it's still good. Something about having that Opus button. You can
I
just
can
pound
tell
and
you,
make money.
there's no better feeling in the world than having a Magnum Opus in your opening hand, dropping it out, and then just, use the rest of my turn to gain up more money than I started the game with.
Yep. It's solid, and then it's there. It's like a nice warm blanket. You just lay down in it, and it's just waiting on you. So yeah, Magnum Opus.
Yeah, great pick there. My number 5 goes to one of the first ladies of resource, Katie Jones.
Hey.
Say it how you want, man.
I actually just say K Jones.
K Jones.
Miss
K. Jones.
KJ.
Yeah.
Just keep shortening it.
KJ.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
This card is great. Again, no influence. 2 to put into play. You get this early game, and you can just boom, burn a couple clicks and gain money off it. Now it's a little interesting of an economy card because it's not going to pay you back right away. You can't put this in play, charge it up, and then take that $3 and think that you've done right.
Not at all.
Yeah, you really need to think long-term investment. You really need to wait for your dividends to come in on this stock. But when it does, it comes in. She pays nicely. This card is such a dangerous card. You've seen people, when they have to destroy resource, this is here as a prime target. Katie Jones, great economy.
Good choice. Sweet. So that was our number 5. We're all at our halfway points.
Guys,
now we're
scared.
We're rolling down.
It's getting serious. I'm scared. Oh god. Are you ready for number 4?
Yeah, man.
Are you ready? Here we go. Account siphon.
Oh.
Whoa.
Account siphon is number 4. Account siphon. That's right. I said it. I said account siphon. I mean, what needs to be said? This is a core set card. The ability to... So, it's a win-win most of the time. You either take 5 from the corp that the corp never wants to lose, gain 10. You gain 2 tags, but you can either mitigate it or you just don't care. So it's just a total of a 15 credit swing. Or you force the corp to res a series of installed remotes sooner than they were ready for the sole purpose of making it so that you don't take as much money or any of their money. So it's incredibly advantageous for that reason. And as an economic card, a 15 credit swing is nuts. It's bananas. It is it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so
bananas.
Yeah.
I do think that the card...
I think you got to look at it like another core set money card that has not gone away, right?
Yeah. It's still going strong. I think the best thing that's happened is that corps have more ways to handle and deal with it, but I still think as a tool, in addition to its economic benefit, it's just that powerful. That's why I had to add it. I had to.
Good pick. Number 4 for you, Corey. Transition.
So my number 4 has already shown up on someone's list, but they placed it way further down than I did, and I picked Beth.
I was just gonna say Beth.
4 pick.
I was just gonna say. I'm like, is it Beth?
I think she is, and granted, I do absolutely agree with your statement that she's not going to splash into every faction. She is very focused on pretty much like Shaper and very rarely maybe taken out. But the impact she does have on the game, I feel, is really strong. And just being able to get clickless benefits is just great right now. And I don't know, I only see her going up. So I think she's super strong. She's really fun to play with. And I really love that card.
Yeah, the only reason I put her a little lower is because it was gain that you don't really have control over. But I do think that she should be able to return more than you invest in her, right? So,
yeah, I thought it might have been because of that like swoop,
no.
And you were just like, I don't know what's going on. And is that like a swoop covering the swoop? So it's like the swoop. I'm not sure, but
double swoop.
That's weird. The double
swoop.
swoop.
I just had her lower there because I mean she remains to be seen how, like, for me, how competitive or like how much room there will be in competitive decks for her. I mean, like I said, right now I think in Shaper she's an auto include, and I do think that right now in this cycle it's the cycle of money, so you are looking at a high return on investment for what you get for your 2 credits. But yeah, I had to knock her down a peg just because of the high influence and for the gain is out of your control.
Yeah. Respect. I got you.
Get the power. Yeah.
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 So that was your number 4.
That was my number 4.
My number 4 is one that Hollis spoke about,
Ooh.
This is the Dirty Laundry.
Ooh. I'll just
Make
make that run now. Thanks.
make a run. After the run is completed, gain 5. This costs you 2 to go out, so I think it's a great economy card because you're combining an action on the run. You're basically getting 2 things for 1, and you're getting the credit bonus. Doing something you need to do to play the game, to win the game, and getting rewarded for it. Dirty Laundry at 0 influence works anywhere. Works very, very versatile economy card. Love, love, love it. That's all I have to say about my number 4 pick.
Man, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid picks.
Let's go to number 3s.
Right, we're in our top 3s.
Oh dear.
This is my like surprise one. I don't know. Maybe it won't be that surprising. This is my like I got it, you guys, got you. My number 3 is Wizard.
Ooh, they got a first ID.
It's Wizard. It's Wizard. I mean, okay, so the meta is in a weird place because I think that Wizard decks that include like Employee Strike and Salted Slums, or even Vow decks, right, that are doing a similar thing, are realizing they beat like matchups like CTM and IG at a fairly consistent basis. I think the matchup is in their favor. And so what puts that matchup in their favor isn't just like Saul said, it isn't just Employee Strike. It's the fact that you've got these 3 recurring credits that you could at any point in time trash a series of cards that, you know, they're going to have a lot of, whether it's a Sense and City Grid, whether it's a Patty campaign, whether it's a Cincy Actors Union. Those are all cards that basically get trashed immediately. Now, I'm not going to pick just like any particular game. I'm just going to give you a hypothetical. We have 9 cards. If you trash 9 cards throughout the game, okay, and this is sort of a just stupid thing. Trash 9 cards throughout the game, a combination of Jackson's other things, and all those cards you utilized all your Wizard credits. Okay, you've gained 27 credits from an ID. Now, what's nuts about this is that if you were to compare it to like other economy cards you have in your deck, if you do the math on that, the return value on that would be almost the same as 2 liberated accounts. It's actually better than 2 liberated accounts. They would be similar to more than 3 daily casts. And remember, all these credits that you're gaining are all entirely passive. Like there's no install cost for this. You simply start your turn every turn and you get them. So when you consider that, the card's like one of the best economy cards, period.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
there's only one card in the game that can attack it.
And that, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right,
There's only one current.
Yeah,
right?
that's the cerebral stack if his ID gets wiped.
Yeah, and that just makes it good. Like I think that alone.
And for the record, if he hasn't spent the credits, he doesn't lose the credits.
Yeah.
And he gets a cerebral static.
Hey.
They just chill out on his card, hang it out.
Yeah. So I mean that's why it's on the list, because like it could literally I would imagine that at its worst, even if the only things you can trash in a corpse deck is Jackson Howard, potentially that's still 9 free credits you're gaining.
Yeah.
But in most cases, what is it? I mean, most cases you're probably gonna in most cases I'm pretty sure you're gonna save 40 credits a game, which is like you could save 40 credits a game. That alone is like nuts. That's crazy. If you tell anybody, hey, I'm going to give you 40 credits throughout the game, it's like, so you're just asking me to win then? I don't understand. It's crazy.
Great.
That's it.
Crazy town.
I think it's a great pick. Using reoccurring credits, ranking in number 3. Good slot
Nice.
for you. Good on you, Hollis.
Yeah. Sweet.
Corey, what do you got?
All right, there we go. So my number 3 pick was Katie Jones. Done. Easy. She makes it in almost everything. And she is still was a great way to kind of catch up with the corporation and just have that nice, like, just bankroll of credits waiting just to click off and make a bunch of money. So I rated her high up on my list because she's just one of the best ways just to gain money quickly, even though it's not quickly, but doing that last little, like, invest, and then cash out 9 or 12 is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, very, very, very close to mine. Like, you had it 3. Mine was I'm top 5 with her.
Yeah,
I really think that's an economy card that can just do work for you anywhere you need it to.
yeah, she's great. You're not usually sad to see her unless you feel like you're about to lose a game next turn. So, then you're like, you're not always on time. So,
all good?
All good?
I'm good.
Top 3 for me. My pick for the 3rd best economy card, according to Jameson, is Daily Cast. This one has shown up. I'm ranking it pretty high, but I think Daily Cast, again, maybe you see a theme, maybe. This is a neutral card, so it works in anywhere you need it to. It's 3 to install, and you're getting 2 per turn, up to 8. That drip economy, these can have multiple of these in play. It's just a card that we've seen even the top players go to and slot in their decks. There is nothing wrong with Daily Cast when you need money. As an added bonus, for those of you that are on the smoke train, there she is in the art. So, love it. Can't hate it.
Nope.
Yep. It's too good.
Nope.
All right. We're down to top 2s?
Twos.
Oh, boy.
Twos, guys.
Oh, boy. Got him. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Hollis, I don't know how you get so nervous.
What
What do you got for us, man?
I think this is good. My number 2, which was I'm not even lying. This card was actually number 6 for at first. My number 2 is Desperado.
Woo.
Desperado.
If you had kept it at 6, we could have been number buddies.
Yeah, no, the moment you said yours, I was like, oh, I missed an opportunity. Yeah, I gave it. I agree with your points about it. It's in general just a fantastic card. It's number 2 because while it can't really go anywhere, like I mean, it's so rare you see it splashed anywhere, right? Especially now that it's on the most wanted list. But
that's true.
It is so good that no other consoles get played in Criminal.
Yeah, you know what? It's so good of a card that you knew it had to be fixed by most wanted list.
Yeah, right. Like I'm pretty sure when they announced if FFG had announced the most wanted list and then like someone had their hand over the cards that were on it, I think immediately would have been like Desperado's on it. Yeah. Desperado and Parasite have to be on it. There's no way they're not on it. Like yes, we know they're on it. Oh look, like it's that good. What do you do when you're the runner? I'll wait. You make runs. That's what you're gonna do. So just in general, we see this all the time. A passive ability that says gain money every time you run is like so good. It synergizes with other criminal cards as well. So that alone, skyrocket. Just take them to the top.
You're getting it starts working for you the turn that you can put it in play.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Get it down in your opening. Make a poke at R&D, HQ. Hell, even archives. Whatever they leave open, and start making your money back. And there's absolutely no way. Like if you play Desperado and you can't get those 3 credits back, better talk to Hollis and he'll give you some coaching. But we all know the money that can be made from Desperado.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I guarantee if you count the credits you made during a game, again, it's one of those scenarios where it's like I think I gained 20 some odd credits throughout the game because of this card. if that was any other economy card, it would be almost. I mean, it would be very clear why it's in the deck. Like, yeah.
I like
an
it.
economy card that'll gain you like 20 credits. That's crazy.
I like that it's an economy card. I like that it's hardware.
Yeah, that too. It's sticky. It's hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
So hard to get rid of.
Cool. Sweet. So that's your number 2?
That's his 2.
Yes, that's my number 2.
Awesome. So this is going to be interesting because my number 2 seems like almost opposite ends on someone's list because they put it way further down.
Uh-oh.
And this is also hedging my bets and betting big on this, but I'm putting Netmerker as my number 2 pick.
Whoa!
Holy
okay.
Toledo.
I'm stunned. I am
Yeah.
stunned. You elevated it. Let's go.
I did, man. I'm banking a lot on this card catching on and just being crazy. I do absolutely agree with your point that it does have to be focused on stealth, but I feel like stealth decks are going to erupt and go crazy, and this card is going to fuel them and allow them to do all sorts of things. Why? Because the money can be spent for anything.
Yeah.
Oh, what now?
And anything. You can pay your entry fee into the tournament. Just save up some credits, show up, spend it, you're there. Free at Play Netrunner. If you time it right, it's buying you lunch at the break. So it's so versatile. How do you beat that?
I don't know. It reminds me of that IOU from Dumb and Dumber. It's just as good as money, right?
It's just as good as money.
So you guys, Jameson and I will be going to Worlds. This is just a PSA in case you guys didn't know. Jameson and I both bought our Worlds tickets using Netmerker. We did. We bought them both using Netmerker. We actually, when FFG asked us, they were like, "Well, but do you have a PayPal or a credit card?" We were like, "No. Read the card. You said this was fine."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Hollis, too? You kind of let the cat out of the bag because that's the reason why on the first day the system crashed, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much why they had to make sure they added a back end system to allow Netmerker to be used as the purchase. Don't get me wrong, I get it. It's hard, kind of hard.
But Corey, let's just point out again that you really are, double mortgaging the house. I'm putting it that high, right?
But you also, hold on. It not only can potentially make money and grow its investment, but you can also draw cards off of it if so desired.
That's true.
It's got so much versatility, and I feel like this is just going to be a phenomenal card for stealth decks. And oddly enough, you think stealth will be hidden, but I think stealth is going to blow up and be all over the place.
Yeah.
So you're going to be seeing a lot of this card, and it's just fantastic.
All right. Well, my number 2 is a little bit of a safer bet, and I just mean that mine's tried, tested, and true already. My number 2 is the contract.
Your number 2. Hold on. Your number 2 is your number 2's contract?
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
What did I?
No, tell me about it.
Yeah.
This is the Temujin contract.
The Temujin. Okay, I'm interested. Let's go.
Yeah, very accent on the ooge. I just think this is a great card. You're putting 4. It's 2 influence. Whenever you make a successful run on a chosen server, take 4. And it's kind of like an extreme bank job that kind of works on any server, and there's 20 credits on it this time. That's hefty.
Yeah. True story.
I was going to talk a little more, but there's been a reaction from my other panelists here, from my other. That I think we can put it off and really talk about it in a couple seconds here.
Whoa, those are some bold predictions.
Oh, well, I'm just saying.
You don't know me.
You don't know me, Jameson. I could have chosen anything. How dare you? I want the chat to know right now. When I give you this number 1, you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna turn off your screens walk away, but leave the volume on, leave the stream up though, so that you can be sweet with the viewers. But like, you're gonna walk away from the screen and be like, "Ha, he got me. I knew he wasn't gonna choose Temuji Contract." Just wanted you to know that.
All right.
Sweet. So you ready for number one?
Yeah.
Hit me with your number one, Hollis.
Temuji Contract. Temuji Contract. Listen, the card is ridiculous. Have you not seen it? Do you know what it does? No, that's a little. I'm being a little super hype, but it is extremely good. So it basically, it's for cost, 20 credits on it. You choose a server when you install it. Every time you make a successful run on that server, you gain 4 credits. What makes that card ridiculous to me is that it's actually a better gain than liberated accounts, right? Like overall, the amount of credits you gain is better than liberated accounts. But what makes it nuts is, whereas liberated accounts is simply a click to take the money off, this is also a nested action. Now, while this can be a negative effect of the card, it can also be really awesome. But that's it. That's what I got. That's my number one.
My slip on this was that it doesn't change servers. Like it's kind of rooted there for a while. There is the possibility to, that if that server goes away, if you've picked a remote because it's the easiest to run at the time, or what happens if you've picked a server and all of a sudden some big meaty ice gets thrown up there and kind of stops you from making your money back. That's the only reason that mine couldn't really take the top spot away from, what you're going to find out in a little bit is the Granddaddy card, definitively.
I'm excited to see what your Granddaddy card is. That's
Corey?
All right, get ready. But my number one pick for my favorite and strongest economy card is same as Hollis's Temuji Contract. Have you not seen it? Did you not see what that card does?
Did you not see it? How did you not see it, Jameson? Did you read
crazy.
it?
It's number 2, man. Number 2 ain't bad.
And just to kind of buddy off Hollis, like the fact that you can stack it, so you have the Desperado. You sit there and you have the Temujin. It's like the Voltron economy card. You just keep forming up extra parts, and it just gets insane.
And then John Masanori forms the head.
And I'll be the head.
Yeah.
And then it just gets nuts. You're like drawing cards, gated money, and it's madness. It's so good. And wait, you'll love this. Another great career fair target.
Yeah. It's so good.
I got some value for your value. That value.
Hey man, I heard you like value. That kind of situation.
Yeah,
This is like when those online stores accidentally put a price incorrectly. So a TV that's supposed to be $1,200 is $1.20, and somebody orders 10 of them. It's like that. That's what this card is. That's exactly what this. All those combinations are what.
It's like the reverse Champ Deck Queen's Gambit. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. It's time. The moment is here.
But
what is?
I just want to say that Hollis, when you announced it, I love the fact that you didn't even make people wait. Usually you draw it out, but you're just boom.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm not gonna take any more of their time. They know the truth.
Yeah.
They know.
All right. So number 1 on my list is. I wish I could have a audio department that could insert a drum roll. My number 1 is Sure Gamble. Lady Luck took the form of high. Yes.
You put it number one. You put it number 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
That was good. It's good.
The radio.
Okay, so listen. Sure Gamble, again,
Yeah.
it's neutral. It goes everywhere.
Yes.
Right? When I know there's people out there, good compadres of mine that will tell you Sure Gamble is a crutch, but that's just because it's so good.
Yeah.
This card is in 99.999% of the runner decks?
Yeah,
I would say
about 97.
I would say for the most part, if your runner deck is good, you probably run a Sure Gamble.
I just can't. I just
Problem.
yeah. This card
For the rare
is.
exception. Okay, listen. All right, listen. There's exceptions, damn it. There's some unique exceptions.
Yeah.
I hear that
But-
that the sure gamble in there is cost 0 to play,
Yeah.
and it's just gain 9.
Yeah.
No, but I just think it's just how versatile it is, just how everywhere it is. I think when people are building decks, whether it in person, online, open up Netrunner DB, you're building a runner deck, what's the first thing you do? Click your ID. What's the second? Add 3 sure gamble.
Right. Usually that's like very close. Yeah. And I'll put it like this, I guess. When I look at it, I think my evaluation of sure gamble just specifically was like there were two sides, right? Jameson, there was your side where it's like this card is almost an auto include in like 99% of decks because of that versatility. Because it's excellent when you get in your opening hand. It's immediately as a result it's immediately playable. Its barrier of entry to play or whatever like is like not ridiculous. And it gives you for 1 click, 4 credits is pretty much the standard when you look at the way Temuji contract works and liberated accounts work. Like that's kind of the standard, mostly. So like looking at it like that, it's pretty clear why I can see how you would make that one of the best or the best card. I mean, it's pretty much like if I was only going by the cards that are used most often, well, yeah, that card has to be number 1 because regardless of any other card, including Temujin, I always see sure gamble. I may not always see Temujin in every deck, but I will see sure gamble most.
Yeah, to me, what played a big factor in this is the versatility of it. Is the fact that it's neutral and it goes everywhere, and so that ability in the deck building process.
Yeah.
I just can't help but love this card, right? Like the feeling you get on turn 1 when you have sure gamble in your hand, you almost feel like I got this game, right? It's that much of a good like warm feeling down in the cockles of your heart, right? Like that's Dennis Leary style, right? Like it's just warming them up.
Wow.
I just think that sure gamble is so versatile, and
Right.
it's core set. It's here years later, and it's only going to be here for years to come,
Yeah.
unless something
Excellent.
crazy happens.
Right.
Like they make
awesome.
they make something that's just called sure. That's not a gamble. Then
I'm gonna be honest with all the amazing economy cards. Well, I guess we can transition to that now. I guess because we wanted to sort of do that. a little
yeah,
bit.
there's the rundown. Yeah, so let's talk in general about maybe some close ones that didn't make your list or some up and comers. I for one, there's a couple of them that like Bank Job was really I flirted with on the edge. I can tell you that some big ones that I left off Netmerker just because I tried to think of versatility, and that is stealth dependent. Lucky Find is obviously going to give you a huge reward, but I think the influence cost there is what's holding it back off my list. One I really love that I couldn't bear myself to put it on because of, again, versatility is Magnum Opus. I'm playing a ton personally right now with Opus because, like Corey said, the ability to boost money up really quickly right now to fight Trace, I think is invaluable. And that's what Magnum Opus does, is print money. One card that I think is going to be, if we were to do this again in a couple months, I think Ghost Runner is going to be an economy card that you're going to see go way up in value. And that's just because, again, stealth. But that's going to be stealth dependent.
Yeah.
Any ones that you guys kind of like looked at that was hard to...
So some of the ones that were like really close and some of the cards that didn't quite make my list. So I had to think really hard about cutting the prepaid from the list. And I think like prepaid Lucky Find, I think both those took a bit of an impact from the MWL.
Yeah.
And so Lucky Find was awesome, but Lucky Find was insane with prepaid. And the fact that prepaid decks kind of got phased out and weren't as popular kind of brought it down a lot on my list. A card that I really wanted to be high on the list and get there, but just kept getting pushed down because it's been so long since I've seen one, was StimHack.
Yeah.
Like, StimHack wins games. StimHack's fantastic.
Yeah,
but
felt exactly the same, man. It's just not around anymore.
I've not seen one played in quite some time, and I'm not saying it's bad. You may have a deck that runs it, and it's awesome. And kudos to you, because that card's still fantastic. I just don't see it a lot in my area. And then just something that, like, I didn't play with a lot of, like, drip. I didn't use a lot of that in my list. Now, one thing that was not on mine that I came up with your guys was Dirty Laundry. Dirty Laundry didn't quite make my number 10 or anything like that. And I'm always a little hesitant on some of the run-based econ because I feel like a lot of the corp meta now wants you to run. And so sometimes it can be hard to find that window of, this is safe for me now to run in Dirty Laundry, unless the corpse is going to be like, sweet, you made that run I needed, so now I can trigger my events to punish you for it. And so there can be times when that card's not so helpful, or you don't really have a good time to play it because it might get you dead. And you just want to be careful with it. Yeah.
You know which ones that I'm glad that didn't appear on anyone's list is the big one is the old man professional contacts.
Yeah, so Proco I saw come up in the chat when you were talking to you. I think the reason why it didn't make mine is I pretty much replaced it with Netmerker because I really only played it a lot in stealth style builds.
Are you telling me that professional contacts was swapped out for Networker?
It still wasn't that high up on mine, but I played a lot of Proco. And wait, hold on. You know another card that's really good with Career Fair? It's Proco.
Yeah.
Value.
And then just to bring it into the conversation is the symmetrical visage. It's little baby. So you got the old man and the little baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot that card existed. Shit.
Yeah. That one's good. It's a great card.
For me,
a lot of good options.
For me, symmetrical visage, I ranked it as 13. Professional contacts, I've had a love-hate relationship with since it came out because I feel like you want it on the board so early, but just that tempo hit to lose everything. And I'll never forget, the World Games, right, where we saw
Andrew Veen versus Eric Jens.
See, you know it exactly, right? Proco hits the table, and he couldn't recover from that swing.
Yeah. That was one of my first experiences learning like what do they call it, like tunnel vision and a loss of tempo changes the game dramatically because that's pretty much what happened there.
You mean tunnel vision because that was like the kind of like the textbook said to play at that time, but that's not what the situation called for.
Right. I think he saw a predetermined series of actions that were sort of mechanical because based on value, shout out to Ahmed. Based on value, they were the most valuable. He got the most value out of playing those both Proco and Katie Jones the way he did. But unfortunately, the negative, of course, is that by playing that way, he ended up like preventing himself from making very valuable runs that ultimately would have won the game because his opponent was flooded. So you have to kind of think when you have situations like that. Well, it doesn't matter, but like that could be a discussion for another episode. But that is sort of an issue. The tempo hit, more specifically, is my issue.
Yeah, and I mean I like data folding, but that was too far down. And there was a couple other ones, right? Like I really like stealth. I played a lot of stealth, even when it was, let's call it stealth version 1. Where we're not getting all this new smoke stealth stuff. So I don't have on my list a lot of the boosters like lockpick and cloak, all those reoccurring credit cards. I thought data folding was a good card that just didn't make it.
Yeah. So So if you don't mind me throwing this random question, what was does anyone have like an old school economy card that you used to use that you used to have a lot of fun with and really enjoy that doesn't get used now? Like, do you have like I really wish this could work, or it continued to work but it's been replaced, but you had a blast playing with it?
Yes. Compromised employee.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, I used to play with when I was playing Crim, years ago. I used to love compromised employee because it allowed me to apply pressure, gain money in the process, and also helped the link. So at the time when you're dealing with like where Wayland was still playable, that sounds so messed up. But like
Wow.
when Wayland was still like a deck that would scorch you if you didn't find Plascrete early enough, right? Because there were no other real like true answers that you could use. It was nice to have a card that gave me a credit when they rezzed, but then on top of that allowed me to help for traces. I believe even at that time, and we're going deep in the tank here trying to remember this, but if I remember correctly, also Wayland often played Shadow. So compromised employee did double work on Shadow because you would gain the credit when they rezzed, and then you would have a credit for traces for the Shadow to gain for the tag. So it was extremely useful for that in particular. I will never forget that. Wow.
Repping it, old school.
Wow.
See, bringing the memories back.
I'm old. Like I'm old and never. No, yeah. That's last. That's
There's a lot of old economy cards that I brought back over this last cycle in a bit, mostly because I was playing Atom, so I went into data folding, that kind of weird stuff. If you want to, like, how far back do you want to go? Tech Writer was something I used to play when it came out. Worlds last year, it kind of saw its introduction. It still kicks around here and there, but it's not as popular as it was in some of these top tier builds. I don't know if I have one, and I'm going to sound stereotypical again going back. I guess the oldest card that I don't play anymore, that I used to have fun with, is modded.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It goes back to that clip and save, right?
Yeah, clip and save.
Cool.
So mine, I'd have these moments. I'd play Shaper. You'd pop the diesel, pop the quality time, and then cash in that freelance coding contract for all that money.
Oh boy.
Just bid it. Be like, got it.
Okay,
And then you were like, of course I'm playing Exile. So
Yep. I remember that. No, I think it was an Exile deck that had 3 Fim,
yeah.
and this was before the library card. And like the actual goal was you would just literally stem hack a server and just stair step, for the most part, Fims to get in. And I think this was actually even before Caprice Nisei.
Unplayable.
Wow.
No, freelance coding contract is a fun card to use. Regardless, it didn't necessarily have to be in an Exile deck, but it was a fun card. It was just a cool, like, especially when you kind of already have your suite and you're looking for a certain like event, and then you're just like, oh, I have all these cards I don't need anymore. Cash them in for money. Boom, econ swing them in there. Let's do this. And especially when scavenge and clone chips, like, good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Memories.
Some fun ones. Some fun ones inside the chat that got mentioned are Ice Analyzer, Personal Workshop, Gorman
Personal
Drip.
Workshop, great pick.
Yeah.
No one picked Power Nap.
No,
I'm disappointed.
unplayable.
Jameson, are you doing the mouth at the mic? That's unplayable. You can't play Power Nap. Take it off the list. Take it off.
I'd like to strike that one from the record, please.
Oh God.
Yeah, Chris in the chat too also said he's surprised nobody put Street Peddler on their list. I think that there's cards there that you know, it was hard for us to struggle with what is economy and what
Is a
what
different kind
isn't.
of.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to. We did a little talk like last week when we decided to do this episode about what we were going to consider and where to draw the line, and that kind of rounded the bubble. You know, he says Scrubber is another one. I mean, I think Scrubber's good, but I don't think it makes my top 10.
Yeah.
You know, another one is like to me, you look at the way that anarchs use inject and things like that, and that's just to me, it's too situational and too factional to make my list. As you can see, my list was built up. Obviously, there was some core ones that you're going to only see in certain factions. Like, I don't really think you're going to pull liberated accounts out, or like I said with Beth. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just tried to make it versatile. And for the record, you got I had Netmerker as my number 11.
Wow. It almost made it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see like how, you know, especially if we ever come back and like look at these, to see how some of these cards adjust. I feel like, and again, I think I might have mentioned it too. I feel like scarcity resources is going to have a huge impact on a lot of us who picked a lot of resources as our economy package and stuff we liked. And there's a chance that like if that card explodes and becomes like a staple in corp decks, you're going to see Operation Econ. Well, that's their operation, but like event econ for runners probably grow a lot more, or people be a little bit more frugal with how many resource cards they include. It's going to be interesting to see what the future holds for this game of Netrunner.
I am scared of scarcity of resources. Like,
Yeah.
the card is annoying.
Yeah.
I also want to answer some questions real quick, just because I saw them brought up, but I'm not sure. I had a different answer for some of these. Someone mentioned like the Dripicon cards, like Underworld Contacts and Data Folding, and why they didn't make like top 10s really. I was going to say, and also I think this is going to tie into the discussion about Personal Workshop. I think that there are some cards that are not necessarily bad, but at the time, the meta or primary card choices by a lot of the more competitive community prevented those cards from shining or really having their true potential. Like Austin kind of answered his question, but like the point he made was, while Personal Workshop had a time where it was a pretty fantastic, card, it was in a world where Fast Advance existed and pretty much all shapers were playing Kate. So in that world, it's very, because it's not synergistic with Kate and Fast Advance is what it is, Fast Advance, it makes hard to get a real big benefit from a card like Personal Workshop where cards are dripping off of it very slowly. And that's the same issue that you're going to find when you have a card like Underworld Contacts and Data Folding. They have a fairly decent investment, and while as long as their conditions are met, they're infinite, effectively drip economy. But you have to go up in a burst of credits to an extent, and then play them, which loses tempo, and then you'll slowly gain back up. In a world where Fast Advance was the primary deck, that was really hard to contend against. Because you have to lose momentum to gain this momentum, like in such a large way.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well said.
I apologize. Did you say was?
Okay, my bad. My B. I did say that. Sorry. Fastrobiotics.
Okay.
Fastrobiotics.
Sorry, thank you.
Not all Fast Advance. Fast Advance is definitely slowed down a little bit, but Fastrobiotics is effectively done, right?
It's manageable.
Yeah,
it's manageable.
I think Hall, is just to bounce off some other points there. You look at how this game is technically like the shell of Netrunner is from what I believe that the corporation has a small window to score out before the runner can set up, right? Like you want to play a piece of ice that protects you until the runner can find the breaker or the resource to get in there. But as the runner, you need to be able to apply pressure throughout the whole game to keep the corp on the edge. And to do that, some of these cards that require an investment or a longer setup took a back seat.
Yeah.
Because of the pace that the corp was able to accelerate at. I personally like those cards that got mentioned, but the problem with them is I'll tell you that I kind of went through and did a ranking of 31, 32 different economy cards, and from my perspective, like I said, I want them to be versatile. Data folding, I ranked as 28. Underworld Contact, I ranked as 29. Only because those cards need to be in a specific deck. You really need Underworld. Like Underworld, you can't just put it on the table and then start being like, let me see some investment. I got to be able to find my other cards, get them into play, and then obviously Underworld can then be played or is already on the table before I can start seeing benefit from that. Data folding is again, it has to be in a specific deck where I have the memory to be able to see return on investment for that. Now I was playing a lot of Atom, so me personally, I did like data folding because it fit into that style, but I don't see them as cards that can just go anywhere. Like I said, like my number one card, Sure Gamble, it really needs no other combo. It really needs nothing. You just, you're able to get credits in the game, and then you just play Sure Gamble. That's it. It's very bare bones fundamental.
Yeah, and I think some of those cards, and you kind of brought up, is they're more like a packaged deal, right? In order to get some effect out of them, you have to kind of have a few key pieces, and so like you want to use them all together. And I feel like a lot of the cards that were chosen in some of the lists were some that could kind of stand on their own. Granted, Netmerker is an exception. It does need support cards and stuff to function. And then I think if you look at a lot of the Drip Econ cards, I think we all believe that Daily Cast was like the king of Drip Econ.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted something that was a steady money, it was just a good go-to. But it doesn't mean it's the end-all be-all. Like, those other builds are still great, and if it works for your deck and what you're running with your runner engine, it's a good route to go. It's awesome. There's very few really bad economy cards. There are some really bad ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think this is sort of a testament. I think it's more good than bad, maybe, that like some of the best economy cards are not only, in my opinion, very splashable, but also neutral, maybe, so that every faction either gets them for free or pays a little bit to get them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like looking at, considering card balance. Oh man, I'm holding back a sneeze. Hopefully I can maintain it. Looking at card balance, I think that you want to make sure you kind of cover all your bases. I think sometimes you run the risk of overstepping. Like if we look at it, Temujin is everywhere now. Temujin is Shaper decks, Criminal decks, Anarch decks. I cannot tell you how many decks I've seen now that run 3x Temujin. Like it's crazy.
That's why target marketing is becoming a thing again.
Yeah, right. I mean, you might as well just name it because they're going to play it anyway. They don't care. But yeah, I mean, Temujin is that strong. Sure Gamble's that strong. Dirty Laundry, Daily Cast. These are all tools that every runner gets for free. The negative being that when you look at like very specific builds, like you look at like Netmerker. Netmerker is very specific to stealth, but like its credits go pretty far for what stealth is capable of. So the math on it, you really can't do the same as you would a Daily Cast or a Dirty Laundry because it's just different.
Mm-hmm. And like the situation plays out very differently as well too, right? For setup.
Right.
I mean, if you're playing a runner with Link, then obviously, you have a better chance of getting your Underworld set up quicker, right?
Right.
If you look at the value that you can pull off technical writers and tech traders, well,
right.
Those are only geared towards a specific build that you're going to get that crazy value out of that kind of engine, right? And we didn't look at it as building an econ engine. We looked at it as card.
Yep, that's true. I'm wondering if they're ever going to make an economy card that gains you credits or something like that equal to the amount of link that you have. Or maybe a credit econ card, or like a runner econ card that initiates a trace that gains you money, but it's a fair amount of money, so the corp may want to pay into the trace.
Oh, so it's not another day, another paycheck?
No, goodness, no.
That initiates a trace that gives gives you money. I don't know.
What, Jameson? Did that even make it on your list of 31 cards?
No, unplayable.
Yeah. It's not gonna see play. It's not
unplayable.
It's not gonna. Jameson, could you please tell the court your verdict on the card?
I plead the fifth. Fifth.
Fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Oh God, sorry.
Sweet. We have a lot of fun doing these.
All right. Do you guys have anything else to wrap up with?
I have nothing. I have no real talk.
So I guess I'll throw in. So this is a really cool part of the game right now, right? Where the run recon is swinging super hard to them just making money and being able to keep, if not outpace, the corp. I know we kind of came from where corp had so many different crazy like asset engines and different things that just explode in cash, to where like credit denial decks that runners were playing just couldn't. It didn't matter. They were just like pinpricking. So it's interesting to watch the game kind of swing super hard, where like runners are just like, yeah, man, I can pay for that. Yeah, that's cool. Got it. And they're just Scrooge McDuckin, back where they're at. So it's cool. It's an interesting point for the game.
Yeah. There was an ask in chat if these lists are written down anywhere. We didn't share them with each other before we put this out. I guess we can kind of collect them up and post them on our Facebook if you like it. So in the next little bit you can head on over to.
We just don't want to spoil the list for those who are going to watch the show when it gets posted. So we might do it a little later after it sits out for a little bit.
So there we have it. Hollis, Corey, you have anything else to add?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks again, everyone who listened and for checking out the episode.
Live, unfiltered, and uncensored.
Hey.
This is Netmerker signing off for the night. Stay safe, New Angeles. It started with a smoke quote. We'll end it with a smoke quote. How's that?
Unplayable.
All right. Good night, guys. Take care.
See you guys.